just got out the shower, so this thing looks a whole lot better than it did last night. So I want to take a couple minutes and kind of talk about Ifaks. All right, this is just a mush of first aid. This is just a little first aid from like Target or something that I've packed a bunch of little extra goodies in. I got my little sewing kit in here. I got my little crazy glue. I was trying to do this last night, but that stuff wasn't happening. Anyways, you've seen one Ifak, you've seen them all. I don't need to bust out everything with the halo seals and the quick clot and the paramedic shears and all that good stuff. I can, but it's not really relevant to this video as much as I'm really just trying to stress how, I mean, even if you're not like, I guess like a prepper dude or a tactical person, an Ifak is really important, because this little first aid kit I had would not have saved my butt last night. I was trying to do something, just skip what I was trying to do. Let's just put it this way, I damn near almost cut my fingertip off last night, and that mug is deep, and I couldn't get this piece to quit bleeding, man. I mean, I was able to apply pressure and, you know what I mean, it would start to clot, but I would like try to take that bandage off and it was just totally sticking to it and ripping it back open, and it's like I couldn't clear it enough, you know, to where I could do some work on it. It was just gushing out. It wasn't like I hit an artery. Obviously there's probably no artery in the end of your finger, but you'd be surprised how much the end of your finger bleeds. That mug is super deep. If I didn't have the Ifak stuff on me, in particular, this is a piece of gauze that I was using last night. I have a bunch of these that are sealed up in their original dealios that they come in, where they're sealed up and they don't get dirty and they last for a whole lot of years until you bust them open. So I was able to kind of make like fold this over on the end, so it was kind of like a patch over the wound, and then wrap the finger a whole bunch of times with this gauze. So in the moment, I'm like, this thing's gushing all over. Started feeling woozy, you know, started losing, so there's like blood everywhere, like somebody got murdered. So I wrap it up, I'm able to stop the bleeding. I wait maybe like an hour and I try to take it off so I can do this up right and maybe even crazy glue it up, but it's super deep. So I'm glad I wasn't able to super glue it up, because that would have been stupid. I did pour peroxide on it in between. That was the worst thing I ever could have done. Don't ever fucking dump peroxide on a deep ass cut like that. I think that shit is what almost put me down for the count, but that's neither here nor there. These Ifaks, you know, something beyond a first aid kit for heavy bleeding, heavy trauma, lifesaver. I mean, I was either going to have to wrap this thing up in a towel last night and run and get stitches at the emergency room, or I was able to do it up myself and maybe just take care of it, let it heal, and I won't need any. But it definitely could have used probably a stitch or two. But let me tell you, the way this thing was bleeding is ridiculous. On the tip of a finger, you know what I mean? I broke that other finger on the other hand, and that was kind of gushing out too, but this was ridiculous. And so, long story short, after that little incident, I've always had a bunch of gauze, but I'm going to go and I'm going to double down on these, because these gauze, you know, you soak up the blood, you stop the bleeding, but they, you know, I mean, they're instantly, you use them up and you get rid of that one, change the dressing, all that kind of stuff. I have Israeli bandage and all that. I wasn't going to bust that out, but this is good right here. Try to kind of stuff the wound, wrap it, stop the bleeding, and then get it cleaned up. Put some antibiotics on it, and if you're able to, if it's not too crazy deep, I bought this crazy glue. I've been using it for cuts. Not as bad as this one yet, but just some thoughts and ideas of a shitty experience I thought I'd share. Yeah, it was a good thing I have my trauma kit, because I was able to stop the bleeding and patch myself up without having to go to the doctor. But just imagine I'm out in the middle of nowhere, out in the woods. You know, speaking of which, getting ready to get out of here, out of Nevada. Going to the woods. Take a guess where I'm going. if I was out in the middle of nowhere and I did this, I'd have been in serious trouble because it's the way it was bleeding. You know, it's dirty out there too, so you want to keep the wound clean. You want to try to stop the bleeding, clean it up, patch yourself up, throw some antibiotics up on there, wrap it up, let it heal up just a tad, you know, and then take it off the next day and let it air out, and then pretty much redo that until it's healed up enough that it's not splitting open on its own. But this mug hurt, man. And you'd be surprised how much blood will come out of the end of a finger. So hopefully you can learn something from my shitty experience. And yeah, these little first aid kits ain't good for nothing like this, though. I thought I'd just keep it in the background, let people know. My thoughts on that. Peace.